So welcome back. We are in the Nefesh HaHaim, Sha'ar, Dalet. We're going to be picking up in chapter Yud Beis about the power and impact of Limud Torah. And there's a really beautiful footnote from Rabbi Frankel at the end of the previous chapter, and it gets us into what we're doing. So I want to take a look at that. The end of chapter Yud Aleph, it said, L'chein amru be'perak Mailas HaTorah, the sixth perak of Avos, shekalo oisik b'Torah lishma, nikra reya. And I wanted to talk about this word, that anybody who learns Torah lishma is like befriending or beloved of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. And so he says, Ki biyachol naseh shutaf liyoytze b'reishis yisbarach shmo. He becomes a partner with God in creation. Kevin shuhu hamekayim ata es kolo elamois be'esik teraso. We learned in the previous chapter that the world was created as an expression of the Torah, and so by learning the Torah, you are continuing to put energy into the sustenance of all the worlds. If there was no one learning Torah, the world would cease to exist, and anybody learning Torah is contributing to the creative energy by which the world is sustained. Without the Torah, the world would go back to nothingness. That by becoming my beloved, you are maintaining my world, and which I appreciate, God is saying. Anyway, I want to talk about this word reya. We see it on the wedding invitations. The frum people, they don't write their wives' names on the wedding invitation. They write, Moshe v'Rayato. So I want to talk about that. I've heard Divrei Torah about the distinction between reya, like v'ahavta l'reacha kamoicha. We are familiar with the term. You should love your neighbor like yourself. Reya is not a neighbor. It's something like your counterpart. It's more than a colleague. But what exactly is this word reya? It's more than a chaver. Now chaver, your chaver is mechubar. It's chet beit reish, is chibur, it's connection. And reya, if something is your reya, if they break, then you're not whole. So they're part of your wholeness, even more than your chaver, who is a separate entity but connected to you. But your reya, the two of you are one, like man and wife, that the two of them are one unit. So there's something here about this word reya. A man reyato, his wife, rayato. They say it about Bibi always, and he always says, he always calls her that she is his counterpart, his second half of Bibi. Anyway, Rabbi Frankel here has a beautiful explanation, because the question that begs to be asked is, this word reya sounds like ra. It sounds like evil. And what is the connection between your beloved friend, who's a part of you, and evil? And Rabbi Frankel explains it in a really deep way. So I'm really excited about
If
this.
you
Yes,
take
Shimon.
if you take the yud out, which is like representative of Hashem,
Yeah.
then you're left with a bad situation.
Yes, it's mamish evil. So here it is. Okay, he's quoting Shir Shirim Rabbah, quoting Shir Shirim. Reb Chaim highlights a person is called a friend, a reya, my beloved, Rayasi, in Shir Shirim, specifically when he is involved with Torah and partners with God in sustaining the universe. It should be noted that these words reya and ra'ayati have the same spelling or contain the word resh ayin ra, which is evil. These words, in which the letter sequence resh ayin are an intrinsic part of them, denote separation, where a friend or one's beloved is a separate entity, and evil is the environment of this world, which is separate to God. It is the meaning of the term sitra achra, the other side, as mentioned elsewhere. Therefore, just as God creates this world, which from our perspective appears separate to him via the tzimtzum process, we partner in sustaining this separate world through Torah study. So evil is that which is separated from God. and a person who sort of puts the world back together by learning Torah and reconnects and everything, he's called Ra'ayati, God's beloved. Therefore, when we are engaged in this process, we are specifically referred to as Re'a, friend. We see the same concept and the Reish Ayin letter sequence in the word Teruah on Rosh Hashanah in the Tkiyah Shofar, which is the Torah's terminology for the broken sound of the shofar on Rosh Hashanah, ta 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 ta, broken sound. The broken nature of the trua sound is a string of separate short notes, denotes separation. This is hinted to in the verse, Elokim Allah betrua, Hashem bekol shofar, in Tehillim. The verse specifically associates Hashem's name Elokim with the concept of separation, the trua. In contrast, it associates Hashem's name Yud Kei Vav Kei with the simple unbroken sound, the Tkiyah, da. On Rosh Hashanah, each shofar sounding sequence contains a broken sound, a trua, which is preceded and also followed by the unbroken sound. The broken sound represents gvura, separation, judgment, whereas the wrapper of unbroken sound represents mercy, which overcomes the judgment of the broken sound. Beautiful explanation of Tkiyah Shofar. The Torah command to sound the shofar on Rosh Hashanah is therefore underpinned by the concept of recognizing Hashem's absolute unity in this world that appears separate to him. It acknowledges that even with the different perspectives of Hashem, from God's perspective of Yud Kei Vav Kei, absolute unity, and from our perspective of Elokim, separation, they are truly one and the same. The shofar sounding sequence is therefore directly analogous to the statement made in the first line of Kriyat Shema, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, Hashem Hu HaElokim. So really beautiful note that explains a lot of deep stuff about the Trua and the Tkiyah, about Elokim and Havaya, about Midas Adin and Midas Arachamim, and what we were talking about was this Re'ah, Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamoicha, making two things into one indivisible whole. And a person who's learning Torah is doing that. He's putting together the pieces of the way God shared the blueprint for creation, his mindset, as it were, when he gave us the Torah. So we're continuing with that, the power of Limud Torah. And this chapter, Yud Beis, is particularly devoted to Chidushei Torah. Now, a lot of times if we think about Chidushim, we think, oh, the Chidushei Rashba, or Chidushei Rebbe Kiva Eger, or the great geniuses, of Jewish thought over the centuries. But we will see, I think Reb Chaim himself is going to say it, but I definitely know this is right, that Chidushei Torah are anytime you personally have a new insight and understanding of the Torah, even for yourself. And it doesn't mean nobody's ever thought of it, but for you, it's a new level of understanding. It's a breakthrough of appreciation of Divrei Torah. So every week when we learn the Ramban together, or you learn Rashi and you see something new, a new angle, a new insight, that's called a chidush. And we're going to learn now that Reb Chaim says the power of those chidushim, which are new, they're navalei, they are the power of renewal of the world. So that's where he begins now. That if learning Torah is really powerful and it's the fuel for the sustenance of the universe, kol shekain chidushim amitim dioraisa hamischadshim al yedei ha'adam, because this is now the person becoming a creative force in Ma'aseh Bereshis. So that's very important, that you have a role as a creative author, as a sculptor, an artist, a partner to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ein aroch legodol noiraot niflaot inyanim upu'ulatam lamala. So we could all understand learning Torah without chidushim. Let's say you read Tehillim, or sometimes you even learn something simple or straightforward, something you already know maybe. So you're not really mechadish anything. You're saying the words, and that's good, and there's value and power and kedusha and all that, but it's not the same as activating your mind and your the creative side of your brain, and really struggling to understand for yourself and to find something new, and what's Rashi saying and what's Tosfos saying, and what does the Mishnah Berurah mean here? Those types of intellectual processes which really grab you, and you really have to invest in them. It's taking the Adam. It's really taking a person and putting him into the Torah, and it's fusing your mind with the Torah. That's a very powerful activity. So that's what he's talking about. Shekol milah umilah pratit hamitchadeshet mipi ha'adam. Every word that a person is mechadesh, a new Torah thought idea. This is so beautiful. HaKadosh Baruch Hu nashik la ume'ater la. God kisses it and crowns it. Shimon, I know you're against kissing sidurim and stuff like this, but this is God kissing the letters of the Torah.
That's fine. I'm good with that. That's okay.
V'nivna mimena olam chadash b'fnei atzma. And God is taking these letters of these divrei Torah and he's building a new world. Ve'hein hein hashomayim achadashim va'aretz achadasha she'amar katuv. So the Nefesh HaHaim here alludes to the new heavens and the new earth. So we've heard of the New Testament, but when did we hear about the new heavens and the new earth? So that's what I wanted to share with you to remind everybody that it's the very end of Isaiah. Yeshayahu Samech Vav 66, last chapter of Isaiah. Ki kasher hashamayim achadashim ve'aretz achadasha asher ani oiseh oimdim lefanai nu'um Adonai kein yamod zar'achem b'shimchem. So there's a reference here to Shamayim Chadashim and Aretz Chadasha, new heavens and new earth. So what is that? What happened to the old heavens and the old earth? So we got to understand what this is. For as the new heaven and the new earth that I shall make shall endure by my will, declares God, so shall your seed and your name endure. It has to do, I think, with Tchias HaMesim, and a renewal of creation at the end of days. And he's saying that you, the Jewish people who have been faithful, you will be a part of that forever. And so there's good Radak here. And this Radak, I think, gives us maybe some confidence in the future, our future here in Eretz Yisrael. Ki kasher hashamayim achadashim. Ki ra'am achadashim, he calls the heavens new. Ki hem oimdim bechidusham. They are standing in their newness. Velo yivlu. They will not wear out. Kemo shahayu bayom shenivre'u. Kein hem hayom. In other words, remember, the Radak is a rationalist, and he's saying, what is this, the new heavens? No, the heavens are like new because they don't wear out. Today modern science has that stars go out, stars die, they're born and they live and they die. But from a certain earthly perspective, the heavens are like forever. So the Radak is saying that's what it means. They're like new, that they don't wear out. V'kein yiyu. V'kein ha'aretz omedet b'chidusha lo tivaleh. Ele shel toldoseh habalim. Things on the earth wear out, but the earth itself has, let's say, a very long half-life. V'chein amar Shlomo dor holech v'dor ba v'aretz le'olam amadet. So the Radak is, really, he's pushing the pshat a little bit and saying it's not a new heavens and it's not a new earth. It's the same old, but they last forever. So that's why they're like new. Uperish lefanai. What does it mean? Ki kasher shemayim chadashim v'aretz chadasher asher ani oseh. Omdim lefanai ne'um Hashem. Omdim lefanai ki ani sibat kiyumam be'amidatam. I, the Lord, am the reason and what keeps them standing and existing. Uperush asher ani oseh shani mamidam bechidusham. V'kein ya'amod zar'achem. So too your progeny. V'shimchem. And your name will last. Shelo tachshavu atem shetiyeh biyameichem hageula. You, that later generation, meaning I think us, okay, we're going to live Bezrat Hashem to see the Geula, or maybe our children or grandchildren, but whoever's going to be around at the Geula might be afraid. Shema zar'achem achreichem yigelu me'artzam. Maybe after the Geula, there'll be another exile. V'ye'abed shmam begalut, and they'll be lost in exile. And the Radak says, no, lo yezeh. That's not going to happen. Ki be'otah hatovah shetyuatem ya'amod zar'achem achreichem. The good life of living in Eretz Yisrael that we've been zoicha to and will continue, it should be peaceful and so forth and successful. So to our children and progeny will also be part of that. Kol yemei olam ki me'ashamayim al haaretz. Ki la'olam lo ye'abed shem Yisrael v'lo yiglu od me'artzam. We're not going anywhere. Ein lanu eretz acheret. K'mo shechashvu elu agoyim. Shabo im Gog u'Magog lilachem Yerushalayim. The Goyim think they're going to kick us out of here from the river to the sea. They're going to make it Yud and Rein. No, not going to happen. Shechashvu lahagalot et Yisrael v'la'abed shmam. No. Lefichach amar ki kasher lo yeh k'mo shehem chashvu ki la'olam yamod zarachem ki amud hashamayim va'aretz. A beautiful thought from the Radak at the very end of Sefer Isaiah, where he's talking about the Geula and saying the Jewish people will be in Eretz Yisrael forever. And I think that has to do with our situation today, Bezrat Hashem. Okay, going back to the Nefesh HaHaim, where we're talking about Chidushei Torah. K'mo shekasev be'akdamas hazohar, reish pasak ve'asim dvarei beficha, k'ma de'islei lebarnash lishtada be'araisa, yemama v'lelia. A person should be learning Torah day and night. Begin the kutshabrichu. Tzayis lekaleon, the inun de misaski beraisa. Hashem is listening to the voices of those who are oisik b'Torah. Uvechol mila dischadesh beraisa, and every word, every new idea, a chidushim, dischadesh beraisa al yada dahudi shtala beraisa avid rakia chada. God takes that new word, those new divrei Torah, and He makes a new rakia. Okay, a new place in the heavens. Tanan be'ahu shaita de mila de araisa is chadish mipume de barnash. Hahimila salka pisatadas kame de kutshabrichu. Natilahu mila ve'nashikla ve'atarla. B'shivin atrin gelifin u'mechakikan. At the moment that a person is mechadish a new dvar Torah, those words ascend to the heavens before HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He takes the words, He kisses them, and He crowns them with 70 crowns. Umilad chochmesa, tischadsha, salk v'yasval yireisha. And those words of Divrei Torah that you're mechadesh, they will be a crown on your head. V'yasval reisha v'tasa mitaman v'shatas b'shivin elif almin v'slikas d'gabi atik yomim. Very, very high places of 70,000 worlds. V'ahi mila stima de chokmesa di ischadches hacha kedesalke ischabris be'inun milin di atik yoimin v'salke v'nachte behadayu v'alis betimnisar almin gnizin de ein lo ra'asa. And your words will merge with the words of God and be part of these really high realms. Nafik mitam and shatin v'asin milian v'shlimin v'isadu kamei al yadi. Bahi shaita arech atik yoimin, bahi milad v'naicha, kami mikala v'natila hu mila v'itarlei b'shivim atarin atrin with 70,000 crowns. Hahi mila tasis v'salke v'nakta v'savis rekia chada, gen kol mila dechok misayisadis rekin kayamin b'kiyuma shlim kamei haydev karilon shamayim chadashim. So the Zohar makes reference to the pasuk in Isaiah. These are the new heavens, the heavens that God makes using the chidushim that are, made by the Lomdei Torah. Stimin derazin lechok b'sayila. V'kol ilin sharmilin de'araisin mischadshin kaimin kami kuchabrichu v'salkim yasidu artzoi sechayim. This is what produces the land of the living. V'nachtem misatrin v'schadish v'savid kula eretz chadasha mahimila dischadish beraisa. So beautiful idea that the new heavens and the new earth are created, formulated by the new divrei Torah, the chidushei Torah that are produced by Klal Yisrael.
Sorry to interrupt 1 second, Rav Yeshua, but just
Yes.
to try and understood you in the beginning, it's not like really in that person, he's not necessarily mechadesh, objectively something. If he never knew it, then this is what he's calling a chidush in Torah. If he never
Yeah.
knew it and now he knows it, that's a chidush.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's how I was thinking too. It sounds like.
That is true. He's going to say that later on. Right now, he's just using, this black box called Chidushei Torah, and he's talking about what happens when, Lom de Torah are Mechadshe Divrei Torah. The words go up to the heavens, and new heavens are created, and new earth, and God kisses them and crowns them, and so forth. He's going to then explain what are Chidushim, and he'll say what you said, which is what I said, that it's any time a Jew sort of has a mind merge, has an understanding of Divrei Torah. He learns a new Blat Gemara. He learns a new Tosfos. And so he now learns new Divrei Torah. They're new for him, and that's called Chidushei Torah. So yes, that is what he's going to say.
I must say it's very encouraging.
It is. It's very exciting about the power of Chidushei Torah and how precious they are to Hashem.
Just about the power of learning Torah.
Exactly. That's what this is all about. Al derech ksiv ki kasher shamayim chadashim asher ani oiseh asisi loks. Okay, asher ani oseh. Again, it's said in Isaiah that God says, "Ashamayim chadashim va'aretz chadasha asher ani oseh," that I will make, or that I am making, as opposed to that I made. It doesn't say asher asisi loksiv. Rather, he's doing at an ongoing basis because the yeshivas are learning Torah. The Avid Tadir ve'inun chidushin berazin deraisa. Notice here, besides the chidushei Torah, he says the razin deraisa, the secrets of the Torah. So this sounds like people learning pnimius of Torah, learning the Zohar and the Kabbalah. Ksiv asim dvarei beficha lintoa shamayim l'yisod eretz. Mao v'itzel yadik zisicha amar le v'hashta dahaim mila salkavis atris v'kaim v'kam kuchabrichu iu chafi alahi mila v'kasi alahu barnash adis avim yahi mila shamayim chadashim be'eretz chadasha. Again, more quotes that he's using these words to make new heavens, new earth. V'leimer letzion ami ata al tikri ami ela imi lemahavi shutafa imi. You're not only my people, but you are with me, a partner in making creation. Ma anna b'milula dili avdi shemayim v'aretz. God created the heavens and the earth with dibur, with speech. Afhachi at. So too, a Jew learning Torah. What is he doing? He's saying words and thinking thoughts. Zakayin inun demishtadlin be'araisa. They also are creating worlds through the words of their Divrei Torah. Ubeparshas Vayechi, that's this week's parsha. Ksiv hadudoyim nasnu reach. Ilin inun deishkach Reuven. Al pischenu kol megadim inun garmu lemehavi al pischei. Vatiknes bat midrashes kol megadim chadashim gam yeshanim kamemali chaditan ve'atikan ve'araisa diskalyan al yadayu. Dodi tzefanti lak mihacho lifna kol man yishtara be'araisa. Anybody who's making efforts to learn Torah, kidikoyos properly v'yad lemechade. If you're able to be mechadesh milin lechadetusi milin kidikoyos inun milin salkin al karsaya de malka. Those words ascend to the kisei hakavod. Pasak lon tarin v'gadnis lahon, and they open the gates and accept the words. V'shaita de al kuchabrichu lishtashea im tzadikaya. When God is ready to rejoice with the righteous in the Garden of Eden, hafekos lon kameh umistakel behu v'chadi. He looks at the Divrei Torah and he rejoices in them. Keden kuchabrichu misater beitrin iloin v'chadi. Umayishaitim elavi ksivin v'sifra zaka chulkei mandi ashtar be'araisa gedikoyos. Zaku b'hai alma v'zaku b'alma da'asi. Fortunate is he in this world, and fortunate is he, Ashrei, in the world to come. Elsewhere it says, Valanachal yalel sfaso mizeh mizeh kol eitz machal. Pirusham kol zeh kasuv al divrei Torah. Oiber sham mo lechadashav yivaker lemechadshei Torah shemechadshim et haTorah b'kol yom tamid. So this is an idea that the Torah itself is undergoing renewal. By learning the Torah and coming up with new ideas and new understandings and internalizing the thoughts of the Torah, there's a renewal process in the Torah. Masha leben shu bechor shemechadish divrei Torah she'kol smeichim bo simcha mischadish lo la'aviv b'kol yom u'b'kol makom shemechadshim Torah shebiyeshivas beit haknesses u'biyeshivas bat midrashos simcha mischadeshes l'kadosh baruch hu b'chol yom tamid. So there's joy in the heavens as the Jewish people are learning Torah and reaching new understandings in Torah, and Hashem is using that newness and that excitement and that power of creation, that creativity of Divrei Torah, and with that he is renewing Ma'aseh Bereishis and infusing new energy into the whole world. So like Reb Daniel said, it's encouragement for Lomdei HaTorah, for everybody who makes an effort to learn Torah, understand Torah, appreciate Torah. And it's whether you're learning in English or Hebrew or whatever you do, whatever part of the Torah that you learn, but you think about it, you analyze it, you enjoy it, and that active intellectual pursuit of Limud HaTorah has great power. It's the power to create heavens and earth, which is an ongoing process, something that Hashem is not just that hu asa, but hu oseh b'chol yom tamid. It's part of an ongoing creative process. Okay, we got to learn a chapter in the Nefesh HaHaim. Thanks everybody for being here.
Sure. Very great.
Yeah, Baruch Hashem. See you next week.
Thank you.
Uh,
Good night.
Coach.